All right, what's good, YouTube? This is Boxingwave. Please subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, share the video. Real quick, Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, rematch 2026. They are reporting, everybody's reporting at this point. I saw it yesterday. I believe Azteca TV was the first to post about it. I saw it on Twitter, but they are in negotiations for a rematch. And I'm not surprised. It makes sense. What exactly is Canelo going to do? Canelo have other options. He could fight other not other champions, because Crawford's a champion at 168. He has other options. He could fight other fighters at 168. He can fight other names. There's other people out there. But this makes the most sense. You know what I mean? It really, at this point, you're going to get another bag. You have an opportunity to redeem yourself. And, why not? Why not at this point? Why risk going off at this point of your career to have another dangerous fight against someone else that can potentially beat you instead of fighting a guy that you just lost to, and trying to redeem yourself? I heard maybe a couple months back that he dropped Eddie Reynoso as his coach. I know Eddie has been there like forever, but I heard that. I don't know if that's confirmed. I don't know if he's definitely going to drop him or he's not going to be here in preparation for, this rematch or any upcoming fight with Canelo. But I think it was a good move. Not a diss to Eddie, but I seen Canelo improve in what he's always been capable of doing. All right. But I haven't seen him like really evolving and not evolving. I think that's the wrong word. I haven't seen much expanding, since he's got at this level. Like since around the time where he was at 54 160, I haven't seen him expand on what he's able to do. His style has been set. He's been fighting the same way for a long time. He's improved on that style, but he hasn't really expanded much on it. And I think, even though, yeah, he's like in the fourth quarter and his I mean, he can retire right now. He's in fourth quarter in his career. He's probably been fighting for like 20 years at this point as a pro. With that being said, if he is to leave Eddie, and I think he should, who should he get with? There's a million coaches out there. I personally think that, like, and I'm being realistic, and obviously I can chat more about this in the future, but I would like to see Robert Garcia. That's really realistic Mexican American coach. I've seen him train so many fighters from the ground up. So I would like to say Robert Garcia. He's been in there. Who's a very good fighter, and he's a phenomenal coach. And I've seen him transform fighters, and I think that was probably be the most realistic and sensible direction to go. I'm also going to throw something out there, and I know you guys got to look at it kind of weird, but I would say Bozy Ennis. I would say Bozy Ennis. I know he hasn't trained a bunch of champions and stuff like that. He has his son. They have a rapport already. Canelo has a rapport with the family. Jerron was just sparring with him a little in preparation for the Terrence Crawford fight. I would say Bozy because from what I've seen, with Jerron, Andy Cruz going over there. Who else I've seen? I've seen Jack Catterall, who recently got a stoppage. I know power is a big thing when it comes to Bozy. And, Canelo being a puncher, I think Bozy could probably, provide maybe some more tactics on how to really get that power down and different ways to, especially when you're dealing with a switcher like Jerron Ennis. I just think, like, off the top of my head, I mean, we can probably expand on this conversation, but those are the two names that popped up in my head. I did think about it before when I heard that Eddie Reynoso was getting booted, but I think he needs to train with someone that has, that has some sort of that can expand on what he can already do. You know, um, get off Canelo for a second. Let's talk about Bud. Bud has found a new level of fame and exposure. I hope that whether he gets in a fight with Canelo next or whether he fights someone else, I hope that he can remain as focused as he's been. I hope that if he's going to fight Canelo, he trains and prepares for the rematch just as much, if not more, than he did in the first fight. You know, what you don't want to do is just believe that you already can beat him. You know, it's one thing to be confident, but don't sleep on Canelo, you know, especially if he's going to shift trainers. Canelo's been in rematches. I think he was better in the Triple G rematch. You know, I think he definitely lost the first fight. I think Triple G might have still edged him in a rematch, but Canelo was way better. And I think that was the best version of Canelo that I've seen to this day. Don't sleep on a rematch. You know, we already know that they're going to get a bag. I think Crawford has potential to even do better in a rematch. But don't sleep. Don't let this fame get to you. You know what I mean? This is definitely a crazy, crazy win. But we don't want to take these all-time great conversations and throw it in the garbage because Canelo ends up destroying you in a rematch. You know what I mean? Not saying that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. But you just never know. You know what I mean? Rematches, things happen in rematches. We just saw what happened with Conor Ben and what's the name? Chris Eubank Jr. We just saw what happened with that. So we don't want to sleep on the opposition, you know, moving forward. And yeah, I think it's good because, you know, everybody's talking about the Janibek fight and the Carlos Adames fight. And those are cool fights at 160 for Crawford, but I don't think those, I think at the end of the day, as much as people may say they don't want to see a rematch, it's still a good fight, you know? Even for a second time, it's still a good fight. And Crawford has never been in a rematch because he's usually destroying and dominating everybody. He's never been in a rematch before. You know what I mean? So he can either improve or the fight can be a little bit closer. You know what I mean? And you can't sleep on these guys, these promoters and stuff. You know, any little fight that's a little bit closer than the last, you never know. It might be a draw. It might go to Canelo on the cards if he improves a little bit. You know, I think it was still 115, 113, even though we all thought it was much wider than that. So you just never sleep on a rematch, right? Especially at this caliber, especially if a fighter is probably going to train with somebody else. You know what I mean? We don't know what new tricks that Canelo is going to bring this time. And I think Crawford needs to take this fight as serious as he did in the first fight. But he's very disciplined, you know. But I know the fame is crazy at this level. I mean, I'm just seeing ads and stuff on social media of Crawford all the time. Like it's crazy. Anyway, I'm out of here, man. I'll drop some more content real soon. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.